Hi everyone! Today I am going to be opening these 7 packs of Cons of Tarkir, and I'm very excited. I have a list of the cards that I want that I wrote down. So, Rakasha Death Dealer, which is an awesome card. So if we open it up, I'll have to tell you about it. Sorin the Solemn Visitor, he's a Planeswalker. Sarkhan the Dragon Speaker, he's also a Planeswalker. Any fetch lands. Wingmate Rock, Ashcloud Phoenix, Narset Enlightened Master, Surik Dragonclaw, and Savage Knuckleblade. I really hope that I open one, if not more of those in here. Then I'm going to be opening in a second video 7 packs of Fate Reforged. And then in a third video, I'm going to use all 14 packs, and I'm going to show you how I put a deck together using this block. Now, we don't have the third set out for this block, which I think it's called the Dragons of Tarkir, and that's not coming out until later. So I'm just going to show you how to make a set using these. Alright, so let's open up the Cons of Tarkir. Alright, first pack. And I am going to skip ahead right to the uncommons. I'm taking a small look at the commons because I really like a lot of the commons. They help you win. Like, ultimately, the uncommons and the rares are really interesting, but the commons, they really do. They really help you win. I didn't see any in the commons that I had really wanted, so I'm a little bit bummed, but that's okay. Alright, uncommon. Kintree Invocation. 1 black and 1 green mana to put out. It's a sorcery. You put 1 XX black and green Spirit Warrior creature token onto the battlefield where X is the greatest toughness among creatures you control. So I really like this card. I have 2 of them, and I use them in my Sultai deck. So I think it's a great card. Gurmag Swiftwing. Okay, so this is a 2-drop. It's 1 black and 1 colorless. He's a 1/2 bat. He's got flying, first strike, and haste. I think he's awesome. I mean, he is a flying, first strike, and haste. How can that not be awesome? And the fact that he only costs 2 to put out, like, great. Okay. Set Adrift. 6-drop. It's 1 blue mana and 5 colorless. It's a sorcery, and it has the mechanic of Delve. So if you don't know the mechanic of Delve, each card you exile from your graveyard while casting this spell pays for 1 of the colorless. And then this is put target non-land permanent on top of its owner's library. A really, really good card. I'm never really sure about the 6-drop, but if it is in a Delve deck, it generally tends to work. You generally only ever have to pay, 1 or 2 mana to actually put it out. Ooh! The first opening of all of these 7 packs, and I got a mythic rare. I don't know why I just said mystic. Mythic rare. It's a Hooded Hydra. It costs X colorless, 2 green mana to put out, and it's a Snake Hydra that's 0/0, but Hooded Hydra enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it. And when Hooded Hydra dies, put a 1/1 green snake creature token onto the battlefield for each 1/1 counter on it. It also has a morph cost, so you can put it down for 3 and then morph it for 5. And as Hooded Hydra is turned face up, put 5 1/1 counters on it. So that's a really great way of doing it, so that nobody counters it. So I actually just played with this online yesterday when I was drafting a Cons of Tarkir pack, and it kicked major butt. I was really excited about using it. So this is awesome. This isn't even on my list of things I wanted from Cons of Tarkir, but now that I see it, and I remember it, and I remember kicking someone's butt with it, it's great. Okay, I'm on to the next pack. It's a good start. Alright, swiftly going through the commons. Again, not seeing any that I like, except Swiftwater Cliffs. I like Swiftwater Cliffs, but I mean, that's normal. Like, it's a normal card for cons, so you kind of expect to get those every once in a while. Okay, Abzan Battle Priest is our first uncommon. He's a 4-drop, 1 white mana, and 3 colorless. He's a 3/2 human cleric, and he has the ability of Outlast. And his Outlast costs 1 white, and then you have to tap him to put a 1/1 counter on him. Now, the great thing about him is that each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has lifelink, and that's great. So if you get like a 1/1 counter deck together, which you can do really easily with Khans of Tarkir, it just becomes a really powerful deck very quickly. So the next one is Swarm of Bloodflies. Costs 4 colorless and 1 black mana to put out. He's a 0/0 insect to start, but once you put him out, he's flying, and he enters the battlefield with 2 1/1 counters on it. And whenever another creature dies, you put a 1/1 counter on him. So I have tried using him before, and I only have one of him. I don't really like playing with him just because he's really expensive and he doesn't have the mechanic of Delve. However, I think that if I had like 2 or 3 Swarm of Bloodflies, that it might work better in a deck. So I'm kind of thinking that now I really want to play with both of them again in my 1/1 counter deck and see how it goes. Then we've got Frontier Bivouac, and that's a great 3-colored mana card. It's a 1 green, 1 blue, and 1 red, so it's like you can add any of those colors to your mana pool, but only one. Also, it comes in tapped, but that's fine because it's a great card. Ooh, Sage of the Inward Eye. Okay, this is great. So it costs 5 to put out, 1 blue, 1 red, 1 white, and 2 colorless. It's a Djinn Wizard. He's a 3/4 with flying, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn. So lifelink is like huge. I think it's great, especially for if you're doing like a 3-color deck, because you need time. You need time to get all the stuff out, because they cost more. Multicolored cards, they generally cost more. Oh. Moving right through the commons. Again, I don't really see any that I like. It's kind of a bummer. One of my favorite commons is Kill Shot, and it's a 4-drop, and it's a Khans of Tarkir card, and it kills attacking creature, and I think that's a great card to use in the Khans block. Anyway, so uncommons. I have Brave the Sands right here, which actually I was doing a reading yesterday with one of my friends who's friends with the person that did this artwork. So I think that that's really cool. And anyway, so it's a 2-drop. It's an enchantment, and creatures you control have vigilance. Each creature you control can block an additional creature. Mardu Charm, 1 red, 1 white, and 1 black to put out. It's an instant, and you get to choose one of the 3 choices. I think that that's awesome. That's an awesome thing for them to give you, because you have so many options of what you may need, and then you're like, oh, I have these options. So Mardu Charm deals 4 damage to target creature, or you put 2 1/1 white warrior creature tokens onto the battlefield. They gain first strike until end of turn. Or target opponent reveals his or her hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards the card. We have another Frontier Bivouac. Ooh. And we have a Keru Spell Snatcher. I'm not sure if it's Cheru or Keru. I think it's Keru. It costs 4 to put out. It's a 3/3 Naga Wizard. And it's got Morph. And when it is turned face up, counter target spell. If that spell is countered this way, exile it instead of putting it into the owner's graveyard. You may cast that card without paying its mana cost for as long as it remains exiled. That's really awesome. I hadn't heard of this. I don't think I've ever seen it. That's a really awesome blue card. I love playing with blue. It's what I started playing Magic with, and it's what I only played Magic with for a very long time. It was just a monocolored blue deck. It's really manipulative and fun to play because you make your other opponents really mad, and then you win because you distract them by making them angry. So, on to the next. Any good commons? Any good commons? Nope. Oh well. Mardu Heartpiercer. It costs 4 to put out, 3 colorless, 1 red. It's a 2/3 human archer with raid. So the raid is when this card enters the battlefield. If you attacked with a creature this turn, it deals 2 damage to target creature or player. That's an awesome card. That's really great. Ruthless Ripper. Nice. I only have one of these, but I want to have 4 of them for a deck because it's a great card because it only costs 1 black mana to put out. It's a human assassin, and it's a 1/1, and it has Death Touch, but also if you put it down for 3 and you cast it face down as a morph card, Then you turn it face up after you reveal a black card in your hand to your opponent. And when this is turned face up, target player loses 2 life. It's just great. But if you like, if this is like your first card in your hand and you just don't want to wait to put anything out, you put down a mana and you put down Ruthless River, and that's great. Dragon's Eye Savants. This is also another morph card. It's a 0/6, and it costs 2 to put out if you don't use the morph cost. If you do the 3 morph cost, then you reveal a blue card in your hand, and this gets turned face up, and you can look at opponent's hand. Ooh. Jeskai Ascendancy is the next one that I just received. It is the rare. It costs 1 blue, 1 red, and 1 white. It's an enchantment, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn. Untap those creatures. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. That's great. And then I got a random foil common, which I think is dumb, so whatever. But that's still good, an extra card, whatever. Anyway. Disdainful Stroke. This is a good common. It's an instant. It costs 2 mana to put out, 1 blue, 1 colorless. Counter target spell with converted mana costs 4 or greater. This can be a great card. Treasure Cruise is another common that I really like in the con set. It costs 8 to put out, 1 blue, the rest are colorless, but it's got Delve. And then you draw 3 cards when you play it. So that's a great common card. Ooh, another great common card. This one's great. This is full of commons that I like. Dragon Scale Boon. It costs 4 to put out, 3 colorless, 1 green, and it's an instant. So you put 2 1/1 counters on target creature and untap it. It's great. Burn Away is the next uncommon. It costs 5 to put out, 4 colorless, 1 red. It deals 6 damage to target creature. When that creature dies this turn, exile all cards from its controller's graveyard. I have this card and I don't really care about it. I think that it costs too much and it's not as good as some other cards. So I don't particularly like it. I would never use it. But if I see somebody like beat me with it, then yeah, I might want to use it. Swarm of Bloodflies. We already talked about that. I'm glad now I have a third one. Heir of the Wilds. I love this card. I love, love, love this card. It costs 1 colorless and 1 green to put out. It's a 2/2 human warrior with Death Touch, and he's got Ferocious. So whenever Heir of the Wilds attacks, if you control a creature with power 4 or greater, this gets 1/1 until end of turn. So it becomes a 3/3. So that's great. In Hostilities. I have only ever read about this card. I've never actually seen it in person. It's beautiful artwork. It costs 5 to put out, 2 white, 3 colorless. It's sorcery, and it destroys all creatures and all permanents attached to creatures. So, I don't know how I feel about this card. I think I need to try it out and then get back to you on it. If anybody who's watching this has used End Hostilities, please write in the comment section and talk to me about why it's a worthwhile card, because I would love to hear your comments. We're on our second to last pack. And I'm going to go through the commons again. Ooh, we have another Dragon Scale Boon in the commons. Kill Shot, which is what I was hoping for. At least I got one. Alright, so then, uncommon, Goblin Slide. I played with this in an online cons draft yesterday as well. It's a enchantment, and it costs 3 to put out, 1 red, 2 colorless. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 1. If you do, put a 1/1 red goblin creature token with haste onto the battlefield. It's a great card. Seek the Horizon. So you'll be able to read what this does. I'm not even going to go through it. I've tried using this card, and I've not found that it's a great card. I think it's just not, it's not quick enough for me. I'm impatient when I play Magic, and it's just not quick enough. So then we've got Death Frenzy. 3 colorless, 1 black, 1 green to put out. It's a sorcery, and all creatures get -2/-2 until end of turn. Whenever a creature dies this turn, you gain 1 life. Ooh, and I got Villainous Wealth for a rare. Yeah. Okay, you guys can see what that does. I don't need to talk about it too much. It's just a really cool card, and I have lost to it a few different times. But then there was also a few other times that somebody used it on me, and it actually ended up working to my benefit because I didn't want any more mana, and they made me exile like the top 5 or 6 cards in my library, and it was all mana. And I was just so happy because I was like, I didn't want that. I would have lost. So that's it. You know, it can be really great for you, and sometimes it can be really great for your opponent. So I don't know. So then we got another foil, and it's a common. So it's not a great common, so I'm not even going to talk about it. So we're on to the last pack. Ooh, Feet of Resistance. So you guys can read right there what it does. But it's a common card that I think is really good. And then we also have a common Cancel card, which it's a reprint, but it's great if you're only playing with the Cons and Fate Reforged set. It's a great card to have because it is great. I mean, it counters a target spell. Like, how can you not like that card? Anyway, so then we are moving on. We've got River Wheel Aerialists. It costs 6 to put out, 5 colorless, 1 blue, and it is a 4/5 Djinn Monk with flying and prowess. So if you don't know what that mechanic does, it's whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets a +1/+1 until end of turn. So that could be a good card. I've never used it. I think I have too, and I've never used it just because of the high mana cost. I think that if I were playing this in a deck that had green also, so it had mana ramp, then I would probably use this card because it's a good card. War Name Aspirant. I have a few of these, and I don't know how I feel about it yet because they haven't come up enough in my deck that I have it in. So it's a human warrior, and it's got raid, so whenever it enters the battlefield with a 1/1 counter on it, if you attacked with a creature this turn, it can't be blocked by creatures with power of 1 or less. And then we have Witness the Ages. It is an artifact golem creature. It's got morph. It's a 4/4, and that's all it does. So I don't know. Ooh! And then we have Wooded Foothills, which is a great card, but I don't use them. They're worth money that I would rather spend on some cards that I want more. Now, I know some of you will think that that's crazy, but I don't really feel like I need it. And so that's fine with me. You guys can hate me if you want. Alright, so that was it with all of the cards that I just opened. And I would say that my favorite card that I opened was actually in the first pack, the Hooded Hydra. So I think that one was really good, and then also the fact that I got another common Kill Shot, I got another common Treasure Cruise, and Karu Spell Snatcher, which I hadn't even really heard of, and it's a great card. I can't believe I hadn't heard of it. And then Sage of the Inward Eye is great. I have one of them, so it'll be nice to add another one. And then Wooded Foothills is going to be great because I can trade it for, you know, for other cards. So that's going to be really awesome. So that's that. Subscribe and like this video, please. And I would love to hear comments from you about what you think about the cards that I just opened. Alright, be sure to watch the next Fate Reforged pack opening, and then the next video that I play of working through all 14 packs that I opened in this video and the next video to make this deck come together. Alright, thanks.